Play cousin, I recently turned 50, so I'll show you what one of my besties had set up for me. And then I headed back on the road. And one thing about trucking, it is never going to be a dull moment. So I will show you all the twists and turns as I went from birthday bliss to waiting in. It wasn't water. I wasn't waiting in the water. But there was watermelon at the end of the tunnel. So let's take this ride. Okay, play cousin. One of my besties has booked me spa time on today, my 50th birthday. So I'm walking there now and I have no idea what services I have in store. I'm just going. Happy 50 to me. We shall see. All right. We have arrived at Spavia. They got me filling out a million forms. I would like to go inside for my services, but instead they got me filling out a million forms. Okay, we have gotten past all of the paperwork and we are now going to change into our robe and slippers. Apparently, I'm going to be spending a few hours here, so I'm very excited. It is robe and slipper time. The sign says even my cell phone needs a break, so I'll see you all on the other side. I'm happy. So this is my remedy to having spent hundreds of dollars eating at truck stops. Get you a chef bestie friend to shrink wrap food so you have no excuse to eat at the truck stops. Stop getting my tires fixed. And I picked up this trailer last night. I'm back from home time. It's my first day back from home time yesterday. I found an empty trailer. I was like, yes, I found an empty trailer in the yard. I went and picked up the load, dropped it off. I was able to drop my empty pretty easily. I had enough room to maneuver. And then my trailer that I was picking up, the one that I have now, was right up front. I didn't have to go down in the back searching for it. I was like, yes, we are off to a great start. And then I pre-tripped the trailer and I'm like, one of my lights is missing. One of my indicator lights on the driver's side is just gone. I'm like, am I seeing this right? So there were some of our other trailers. So I like run down and look at our other trailers. And I'm like, yeah, it's definitely gone. So make a note of that. And I'm like, I'm going to have to call and see about that. And then I look at one of the tires and there's a split in the sidewall. And I'm like, don't want to drive on that because it definitely could blow out, especially if I'm going faster. So I call roadside and I have to take it in. I have to, go slowly, carefully, about 20 miles to bring it here, and they take care of it pretty quickly. It takes me only about an hour or so to get into the bay, and then they change it. And then the guy comes out and he's like, yeah, so that tire behind that one, I'm like, yeah. He's like, are you going to be here in the morning? I said, no, I was actually planning on taking off now because this load that I have originally is supposed to be due today by midnight. So I wanted to get a little closer. And he's like, I wouldn't drive on that. I'm like, say less. Because I'm not driving on crazy tires. So I had to call and say they want me to wait until the morning because they're about to close so that I can get the other tire taken care of. So I'm here this morning. They said they would call me. They didn't. So, I went in and was like, hi, you said you would call me. I'm calling you to fix my other tire. And the guys that were here last night were like cool kids for sure. Like one had beautiful long black wavy hair. And definitely the mechanic with the mechanic grease and stuff, but just like cool, cool. And the other guy was like beard, his his hair wasn't blonde, it wasn't brown, it wasn't red, it was kind of like a mixture, but he had like the cool hairstyle and the beard and everything. And you know, they definitely were the cool kids. And then this morning, the guy that's fixing my truck this morning, me and him are like the nerds, the awkward kids. Like, I knew that I had to give him my key because the guy last night took my key. So once I got into the bay, I had my key hanging out the door, and he took it, and then he comes back and he's like, we do a complimentary light check, I forgot to tell you. Would you like to do it? And I'm like, okay, I check my lights every day before I drive anyway, but if you're gonna do it, sure. So I go, okay. And then he's just standing there, and then I'm just looking at him, and he's just looking at me, and I'm like, and he's like, can you put the key in the, I'm like, oh, right, because how else am I gonna turn on the lights if I don't have the keys? So I key in, turn on all the lights, and he's like, yeah, and if you could just push your brakes, and I'm like, sure. So I do that, and he's like, and the indicator light? I'm like, oh yeah. So I put on the indicator light, and he checks everything, and he's like, everything is working, and I'm like, okay. And then, you know, he was like, I'm sorry I couldn't direct you better on how to back into the dock. And I'm like, no, it's not your job to do that. It's okay. He's like, yeah, I feel like I should be able to direct people a little bit better by now. And I'm like, oh no, it's fine. It's not your job to know how to back up a semi truck. You just have to fix them. He's like, yeah. And then we're just like, yeah. And I'm like, it's okay, you're good. And he's like, all right. And then he walks off, and I'm like, oh my God, we are the awkward kids. You want to be a truck driver, huh? I had to back a semi truck across this traffic with cars going around me because they don't care that there's a whole semi truck that has to get into this dock. Like, I got traffic coming in both directions. Nobody's stopping. I gotta go around this corner to back up here, which means I had to be across all these lanes. I'll tell you about this morning. I'm dropping off a load, and the GPS has me going around and around and around and around, and I'm going through some little alleys that don't even look like a semi truck should be back there. I'm going into a university campus, and I'm like, I cannot figure out where I'm supposed to pull this truck in. So, and none of the numbers that they gave me for this place work. Neither of the two numbers work. So I call my dispatcher. He looks on Google Maps, and he's like, there's only 3 docks, and it's on that street, the main street. And so I turn the corner and I creep up, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Alright, if I drive into this driveway with the 3 docks, that means I'm gonna have to back out into traffic. So I get off the phone, and I'm like, let me just back into a dock from the beginning before I even check in. And so, yeah, cars don't care. I have cars going around me in both directions while I'm trying to back in from 1, 2, 3, 4 lanes. 1, 2, 3. 2 lanes of traffic, one going this way, one going that way, and then a turn lane in the middle, and then a bike lane on the side of that. And people don't care. Can you all let truck drivers do our jobs? Like, you want your stuff in the stores or not? I was just stuck waiting for them to put a wiper blade on at a truck stop, mechanic shop, and I went on YouTube and watched a video and snapped it on in about 5 minutes. I can't believe they were gonna have me sitting here for an hour to do something that literally took 5 minutes, including the time it took me to watch the video. So here's to empowering yourself with knowledge and learning things. Otherwise, boy, you could get taken advantage of. I want to know how much labor they were gonna charge to do that. Anyway, I gotta go. I'm so excited to go to sleep. I've been up since about 7:45 this morning because traffic and construction backups on I-70 had me behind on this load. But I must say, it is very nice to be able to find a company yard and park and not have to search for a parking spot. Because last night I thought I was going to this welcome center rest area that has like hundreds and hundreds of spots. I swear I thought I was going. And when I pulled in, I only had about 45 minutes or 50 minutes before I was going to be completely out of drive time. And when I rolled in, I'm like, oh no, this isn't the spot that I thought it was. And it was packed. So I ended up going to one other truck stop that I saw that was nearby. That was completely packed. And I saw a truck stop up the street. So I was like, please, good parking, stripper Jesus, work with me. And so I went there and I found a spot, and a pull-through spot at that. I didn't even have to maneuver and back up. So, but I had like seconds, minutes on my clock. I don't like to push it that close. I thought I knew where I was going. So tonight, to be able to drop the load off and then drive, 40 minutes to a company yard and park. What a difference. Anyway. Good night, Play Cousin. It's time for bed. I still can't find my microphone. Where did I put it? Anyway, I'm having my truck looked at because my cruise control doesn't seem to want to stay working. I don't care about all the other bells and whistles, but being over the road, cruise control is a must. Otherwise, my right butt cheek and leg falls asleep, starts cramping, starts hurting. And I like having veins that have circulation in my right leg and right booty cheek. I just came across to the building that has the driver's lounge and showers and everything, and I left my shower shoes in the truck. So I just had to make a little excursion to come back. I'll show you the shower room. The sound sounds okay in this echoing, but I just wanted to say that so my thesis when I got into trucking was to not work for a mega company because they pay beginners the least, because they know that you need the 1 year of experience before you can work for someone that will pay you better. So I worked for companies that had like mainly around 250 to 300 trucks, which meant there was one terminal and oftentimes only one bathroom, maybe a bathroom where you could shower, and then one with just a toilet and sink. And so now, this is the first time I'm working for a company that actually has several terminals. And inside this one terminal, there are several showers and several bathrooms. So if you are starting out in trucking, thug it out for that first year. And then start talking to truck drivers at truck stops to find out if they like their company, how long they've stayed with their company, because the turnover rate in trucking is 98%. Some companies have over 100% turnover rate. I don't know how they manage that, but they do. And they're the larger mega companies in general. So so I told you I would show you the shower room. Sitting out here in the sun, listening to the birds, waiting on my truck. One of the cool things about being with a bigger company is that they have lots of shops. So I'm taking a load to Maine, came from Georgia, heading up to Maine, which is another state I haven't been to yet driving a truck. I'm from New England. I grew up in Boston, so I've been to Maine, but never driving a truck. And an alarm code went off with the reefer that I'm rolling with, so I was able to stop here this morning and be there as soon as they open. And they already have my trailer in the shop, so I'm gonna take a nap, which will ensure that they're gonna finish the trailer in 2 seconds. But yeah, I just decided to take a little walk and herd the birds and let you know what's going on. Call me Super Trucker this week because I put on a wiper for the first time, which I know isn't a big deal to most people who've probably put on car wipers, but I never even put on a car wiper. So I put on a car wiper, and just now, I wish I would have recorded it when I did the mic check, but I just put in my own CB. I've been driving around for a month without my CB because usually the shop at whatever company I work at installs the CB, but my home terminal doesn't do that. And I just got my truck out of this terminal and I forgot to ask them about the CB. So went back to YouTube University and got my CB installed and calibrated, and I just did a mic check and someone replied back loud and clear. So I am just trucker of the week this week. A beautiful find for a trucker is finding a truck stop that no one is at, so you can park in peace and not have to fight in between rows of trucks. Dishes have been washed. Now it's time for dinner to be made and then sleep to be had. The guy at the truck stop was asking me if I glow in the dark, and I honestly didn't know, but apparently I do, because I'm just in a little bit of shadows and I can see the green. Okay, Play Cousin. So this was Clumsy Girl Monday. So I have this big old trash bag that I had to ask for, because this morning when I was getting ready to take off, I spilled coffee. Thank God it didn't have creamer in it yet, but I spilled it all over the floor and all over my rugs. I have double bathroom rugs, which are now soaked with coffee. And then I'm driving down the street and I'm like, I emptied my my toilet, but I used it once, and I'm like, am I feeling like I'm smelling something that is not coffee? And I'm like, it's in my head. I'm gonna put a link to a video where I thought that this had happened and it hadn't happened, but today I was talking myself out of it having happened, and it happened. My toilet fell over. Thankfully, it had just been emptied, so it's mostly Fabuloso water or whatever. And so yeah, so then that happened. Then I'm driving along and my clock is like, yeah, you have 30 minutes on your 70. And I had been planning on driving another 3 hours. And so I'll get time back, so I'll still be able to get this load to Maine. But I had to park now. So luckily, the closest truck stop was one that has washing machines, and they were nice enough to give me a big trash bag. So I am about to go wash all my rugs and clean the floors of my truck, because it was a Clumsy Girl Monday. I gotta order a microphone. I said that in every video, but I am going to order a microphone. I won't be home for another few weeks though, so I'm just gonna have to talk real loud. That's why I came over here. So yeah, we just gonna go do laundry. That's what's happening. But we got blue skies. Play Cousin, I just pulled in to this rest area because yesterday Warren Buffett announced his successor, the person who's going to take over as CEO when he retires. He had already named this person, but he made the official announcement at Berkshire Hathaway's yearly conference gathering thing, and the stock price went down, and I was upset that I didn't get a chance to get B shares when it was down like $4.98 or something like that. So anyway, it dropped down to like $5.03, and I was driving at the time, didn't know the news has hit, blah blah blah. I didn't see it till after market closed. So I've been, taking a peek at the chart while I'm driving, seeing what it's doing at opening, and I found a level that I think it can go down to. It's not $4.98 or even $5.03, but I put a limit order in for it. I had to actually change my limit order. So now I'm going to continue driving. Just wanted to tell you that. And, what a limit order is when you decide what price you want to buy a stock or an ETF or shares of something at, and you put that number into the order. You choose limit versus market. Market will just get you in at whatever price it's currently at. Limit, you get to choose your price. So I like to do limit orders because I can read charts and let the price come down to me. And if it doesn't come down to me, I'll wait. But the limit order is there for 60 days. So all I needed to do is just pop down and get me. So this means we can only drive 7 hours and 39 minutes, even though we get full amounts on these other clocks. So what I'm going to do today is probably only drive about 4 hours because I get back some time tonight so that I can push a little further tomorrow. But yeah, I'm not going to push it all the way to, I'm not getting rid of all of that. So that's the plan. I parked at a sporting goods store last night, and they have a huge area for trucks to park, and they have a huge area for RVs also to park. And it seems like they also sell RVs. So it was dark when I got here, but this morning I woke up and was like, it's so pretty out here. And they have this fountain and a little area that you can sit down in. So I was able to have a nice, quiet, slow morning. None of the crazy hustle and bustle of truck stops. That's always nice. There is a thing that happens in trucking called people don't pre-trip the truck. And so then the drivers who do pre-trip the truck end up with the hassle of having to take it into the mechanics. I am not willing to A, drive on equipment that looks faulty, and B, leave it for the next person to deal with, because I think that's inconsiderate AF. So I am on my way to a Love's Travel Stop so that I can get this tire looked at. I'll show you pictures of what it looks like. It's like there's little bubbles in the top of the tire, and the recap looks like it's gonna peel off. So fun times. Hey cousin, I had the opportunity to go sleep at a hotel, shower at a hotel, but I'm in a town with no Uber or Lyft. So instead I'm going to make mashed potatoes with boursin cheese with lamb stew and drown my sorrows in cheesy potatoes. So I have a kettle, but oops, what's that in there? I just warmed the water in the microwave, and I have these potatoes, which you just put in here. I can say I never ate instant potatoes before moving into a truck, and I didn't think I was gonna like them, to be honest. But they're pretty okay. Where is my fork? Where is my fork? Okay. I always hear old school truckers talk about a guy that would be on the CB that would say, I ain't got no panties on. And tonight when I parked, I still had my CB on, and I actually heard a guy say, I ain't got no panties on. I'm in a huge truck stop. There's like 700 spots, so there are a lot of guys with CBs. And someone was like, wow, I haven't heard that for about 4 years. So I doubt that was the original guy, but I heard the I ain't got no panties on guy. So that's how I make mashed potatoes in the truck. And this cheese, Boursin cheese, typically I've had it with like in a block, you know, but these are actually little bites. So once I spoon my potatoes into the container, I'll add some cheese bites. Oh, and I have, show you, I vacuum seal food. So this is actually my lamb stew that was vacuum sealed and just warmed it up. And so I'm gonna have lamb stew, mashed potatoes, drown my sorrows. So flavored seltzer with coconut water. Refreshing. So look, when I was home last, I got this table, which is it's a couch table, but it is the perfect size to fit right here in the front seat. I don't think you can see my face, but yeah, so I can actually sit down and have my dinner. All right. No, I don't have you in there. I am at a truck stop and there's a truck full of watermelons with seeds. So I had to figure out how to get some. So I went to my truck, got my food grade sanitizing wipes in a whole box of freezer bags, and we are making this happen.
I'm saying, okay. They gonna be sweet. Okay. It was good. Does he only be out here or does he be in, like, just only here? Okay.
I don't know. This is the first time I've been here.
Okay. You a truck driver?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, where you come from?
I don't even remember, to tell you the truth. I came from Maine, then I went to Pennsylvania, then I'm in Tennessee. Yes? Huh? I don't know. Because I show people what I'm doing while I'm on the road. So you want a picture of my watermelon? Yeah. I got about 3 bags full of watermelon that I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do, how I'm gonna fit them. They gotta fit. All right, so one of them gonna have to go in the freezer. I might turn my freezer down so that it's not all the way at freezer temperatures. And then the other ones are just gonna have to fit in the fridge some kind of way. But I was just saying that I had run out of fruit, but I got watermelon with seeds. Thank you for joining me on this ridiculously fantastic voyage. If you are a woman over 40 and you're still trying to just figure life out, make sure you subscribe and follow this journey. I am Essence Revealed, taking this journey from actor to tractor, financial independence, and life and location freedom. You can also join my free community where other women over 40 are learning about how to get our money right in the market. I will put links down below.